There's something irresistible about the tale of a prodigy. The image is familiar. A tiny child, barely tall enough to see over the dinner table, already performing feats that make grown adults question their own life choices. The piano keys obey their smallest touch, the paintbrush dances in their hand, the golf ball sails in perfect arcs. Our culture loves these stories because they're neat, they're dramatic, and they make us believe that genius is born, not made. David Epstein opens range with this very image. He takes us into the story of Tiger Woods, a baby in a high chair gripping a golf club, swinging it with a kind of eerie precision. His father spots the gift, nurtures it with relentless focus, and soon enough, Tiger is on TV, a teenage sensation already destined for greatness. It's the stuff of legend. And if you only read that story, you might think, so that's the formula. Start early, specialize, drill until you're a master. It's tidy advice. It's also, Epstein warns, a dangerous oversimplification. Because for every Tiger Woods, there's another story that unfolds in a completely different way, and that other path is not only far more common but, in many fields, far more effective. The other kind of greatness, Roger Federer's long detour. If Tiger Woods is the poster child for early specialization, Roger Federer is the lovable rebel who didn't get the memo. As a boy in Switzerland, Roger's mother was a tennis coach, and yet she didn't force him into the sport. In fact, she occasionally wished he'd be more serious about it. Federer tried just about every game you could play with a ball. Soccer, basketball, badminton, skiing, wrestling. He even dabbled in skateboarding. When tennis did appear in his life, it wasn't the obsessive hours-a-day training you might imagine. He practiced sure, but not with single-minded intensity. His focus was play, variety, and fun. He didn't commit fully to tennis until his late teens, and by then he had accumulated an unusual athletic toolkit. Agility from soccer, hand-eye coordination from badminton, balance from skiing, stamina from running. Epstein presents Federer as a counterbalance to Tiger. Proof that starting later after a wide sampling period doesn't doom you. In fact, it can give you a range of skills that ultimately makes you more adaptable and, in some cases, even more exceptional than your early specializing peers. Kind versus wicked environments. The game isn't always fair. To explain why Federer's path works so well in many fields, Epstein introduces a concept from psychology: kind and wicked learning environments. A kind environment is like golf or chess. The rules are clear, the patterns are stable, and feedback is immediate and reliable. Make a mistake in golf and you see the ball land in the pond right away. In these domains, early specialization can work beautifully because repetition builds mastery with predictable results. A wicked environment, on the other hand, is like entrepreneurship, scientific research, or politics. Rules can change at any moment. Feedback is often delayed, incomplete, or misleading. You might think you're succeeding only to realize years later that you've been heading down the wrong path. In these worlds, early specialization can be a trap. You might be deeply skilled at solving yesterday's problems while today's problems have shifted completely. Epstein argues that most of life's important arenas, careers, relationships, creativity, operate more like wicked environments than kind ones. And in wicked environments, versatility beats narrowness almost every time. The power of the sampling period. Here's the part that makes parents and career counselors twitch: the sampling period. This is the stretch of life where you try things, quit things, and try different things again. From the outside, it might look like aimlessness. From the inside, it's an education in disguise. Epstein shows that in sports, music, and even high-level science, the best performers often spent their early years in a broad exploratory phase. They tested different interests, built varied skills, and learned how they personally liked to work. This period doesn't waste time. It saves time in the long run because it helps you discover a better fit before you commit deeply. The people who skip this phase and specialize too early sometimes end up trapped, extremely skilled in a field they no longer enjoy with no idea how to pivot. The danger of being too much of an expert. Epstein pulls no punches here. Sometimes being an expert can make you worse at solving problems outside your specialty. Experts become so attuned to the patterns of their domain that they start to see those patterns everywhere, even where they don't belong. If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail problem. Generalists, by contrast, are better at analogy making, seeing how a solution in one field can be adapted to another. They can take an idea from biology and apply it to engineering, or a strategy from music and use it in business. It's the cross-pollination of knowledge that fuels creativity. Why quitting can be smart. The book also delivers a surprising twist on the grit narrative. Yes, persistence matters. But persistence in the wrong thing is a slow, painful way to waste a life. Epstein shares stories of people who looked like they were on track to be high achievers in one area but chose to switch fields entirely. That switch, often seen as risky or giving up, turned out to be the best move they ever made. Quitting, Epstein argues, isn't failure. It's a form of strategic reallocation, taking your time, energy, and talents and moving them somewhere they can bloom. Treat life like an experiment. Perhaps the most freeing idea in Range is that you don't need to figure out your calling before you start. You can discover it along the way through trial, error, and happy accidents. Treat life like a lab. Run experiments, try different roles, collect feedback, and adjust course. People who've reinvented themselves multiple times tend to develop a rare confidence. Not the kind that says, "I know exactly what I'm doing," but the kind that says, "Whatever happens, I can figure it out." Final thoughts. The beauty of not having a straight line. By the end of Range, Epstein has dismantled the myth that there's only one reliable path to success: the straight, narrow road of early specialization. For many of us, the winding path, with its detours, pauses, and unexpected turns, isn't just okay, it's better suited to the messy, wicked reality of the modern world. So if your resume looks like a patchwork quilt, if your skills seem scattered, if you've changed majors, careers, or passions more times than you can count, take heart. You may have been building an arsenal of adaptability, creativity, and resilience all along. And next time someone asks why you can't just pick one thing, you can smile and say, "Because I'm collecting range."